So good afternoon everyone. So today's topic is the continuation of halogen compounds. Yesterday we have discussed about the classification and nomenclature of halogen compounds. So today we'll discuss about the chemical reactivity of halogen compounds. That means in which type of reactions the halogen compounds will involve. So we'll discuss in this topic. So the first reaction is the reduction. First of all, we have to know what is reduction. So reduction is nothing but addition of hydrogen. So reduction is nothing but addition of hydrogens to any compound. Say for example X. That means here to the compound X we are adding hydrogens. That means we can say that the X is undergoing reduction. So the compound X is undergoing reduction. So this type of compounds are called as halogen. So this type of reactions are called as reduction reactions. So our halogen compound, that is for example alkyl halide, that is RX, is reacting with the nascent hydrogens. Nascent hydrogens are highly reactive hydrogens in the presence of any reducing agent. In the presence of any reducing agent, they are converted into RH, is nothing but hydrocarbons. So we can say that the halogen compounds, when reacting with the hydrogens in presence of reducing agents, they are converting into hydrocarbons. So this is called as reduction reaction. Let's see while taking a example. So we'll take an example. For example, I am taking here C2H5Cl, that is ethyl chloride. C2H5Cl is ethyl chloride. So when ethyl chloride reacts with nascent hydrogens in presence of any reducing agent, say for example any reducing agent, we'll discuss what are the reducing agents we have. Next, see here two hydrogens are there. One hydrogen is reacting with the HCl and they are converting into HCl, and next another hydrogen replaces the Cl. That means we are getting already 5 hydrogens are there, again one hydrogen coming from the one these two hydrogens. So C2H6, we can write C2H6. It is nothing but ethane. It is ethane. That means our ethyl chloride, that is our halogen compound, by reaction with the hydrogens it is converting into ethane, that is nothing but hydrocarbons. So on the reduction reaction, halogen compounds are converting into hydrocarbons. So let's talk about reducing agent. What is reducing agent means? Say X is undergoing reduction. So now we have to add hydrogens to X. So we have to add hydrogens to X, that is the reduction, or we can remove the oxygens from the X. That means a reduction takes place in two ways. First one is the addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. That means from any compound we can remove oxygen, it is called as reduction, or if we add hydrogen, that is called as reduction. Okay, so to this X, by adding hydrogens or for removal of oxygens, we need some Y compound. So with the help of Y, we are adding the hydrogens to X or we are removing the oxygens from the X. This Y compound is called as reducing agent. This Y compound is called as reducing agent. Okay, that means we can define reducing agent as the compound or the substance which is useful for the reduction. The substance which is using for the conduction of the reduction reaction is called as a reducing agent. That means reduction జరపడానికి అవసరమయ్యేటువంటి సబ్స్టెన్సెస్ని లేదా పదార్థాలను మనం ఏమంటున్నాం ఇక్కడ అంటే రెడ్యూసింగ్ ఏజెంట్, క్షయకరణ కారణులు అంటారు. So what are the reducing agents we are using here? Different types of reducing agents we have. In that, first one is the lithium aluminum hydride. It is called as lithium aluminum hydride. So lithium aluminum hydride is the strongest reducing agent. Okay, next comes sodium ethyl alcohol. Sodium ethyl alcohol or sodium in ethanol. And next we have hydrogen iodide in red phosphorus, Hi in red phosphorus, or we can also use nickel in and hydrogens, nickel and hydrogens, that is in a hydrogenation, nickel in hydrogens, nickel in presence of hydrogens. So these are the some reducing agents we are using for the reduction process. So this is the first reaction. What is the first reaction? When alkyl halides reacts with the hydrogens in presence of any reducing agent like lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride or sodium in ethanol, Hi in red phosphorus, nickel in presence of hydrogen, or we can also use ZnHg and HCl. So in this way we can use any reducing agent. So next reaction is the our alkyl halides undergo substitution reactions. Our alkyl halides undergo substitution reactions. Substitution reactions are again divided into two types. We'll see in very broad manner. Next these are also undergoing elimination reactions. So halogen compounds also undergoing elimination reactions. And fourth one is a preparation of Grignard reagent. Preparation of Grignard reagent. So very important reagent in the organic chemistry, that is the Grignard reagent. So with the help of Grignard reagent we can prepare number of new organic compounds. So with the help of Grignard reagent we can prepare number of new organic compounds. Let's see what is Grignard reagent. So this Grignard reagent is prepared from the alkyl halide. So first of all we have to take any alkyl halide. This alkyl halide react with the magnesium metal. This alkyl halide is reacting with the magnesium metal in presence of dry ether. So these are the conditions. So what happened means here, this magnesium will insert between the R and X. This magnesium metal will insert between the organic compound, that is R, and the halogen. So what is the product here? RMgX. So this RMgX is called as Grignard reagent. The scientist named Grignard has found this compound in his laboratory. That is, when he reacts the alkyl halide, that is Rx, with magnesium metal. So the magnesium is the mandatory and must and should metal. So we can replace, we can take any alkyl halide, either it may be ethyl chloride or it may be ethyl bromide, whatever be the alkyl halide, but the metal should be the magnesium. Magnesium. So what is the product here? RMgX. This RMgX is called as Grignard reagent. If you see the example, so I am taking here CH3Cl, that is methyl chloride. When methyl chloride reacts with magnesium metal in presence of dry ether, so this magnesium will insert between the CH3 and Cl. So we have to do only one thing. We have to place this magnesium in between the methyl and chlorine. Then we will get CH3MgCl. How we have to write the name is CH3 group. We know that it is called as methyl group. And Mg means magnesium. We know Mg means magnesium. Cl means chloride. So totally the name of the compound is methyl magnesium chloride. Methyl magnesium chloride is called as Grignard reagent. If magnesium is present in the compound, that is a Grignard reagent. So the name of the compound is methyl magnesium chloride. Not only methyl chloride, if you take C2H5Cl, that is ethyl chloride. When ethyl chloride reacts with the magnesium in presence of the same dry ether, what we will get here? This magnesium will insert between the ethyl group, that is C2H5 group, and in between chlorine we are getting here C2H5MgCl. It is called as ethyl. C2H5 group is called as ethyl. Mg means magnesium. Ethyl, C2H5 means ethyl, Mg means magnesium, and Cl means, we know that it is chloride. Not only Cl, we may take bromine, we may take chloride, whatever it may be. So mostly chlorine and bromine are more prominent. So it is called as ethyl magnesium bromide. This is the preparation of Grignard reagent. It is one of the very important reagent in the organic chemistry. So this is about the preparation of Grignard reagent. Let's see in detail what are the substitution reactions and in which type of substitution reactions our alkyl halides will undergo. So let's see. First one is these substitution. First of all, we will see what is substitution reaction. So substitution is nothing but one is going out and another one is incoming. that is coming in. For example, in the cricket there is a substitute. Why? Because if any player will get injured, in the place of that particular player another player will substitute. So that is the substitution. In our school days in maths also, substitute x is equal to some 3, substitute x is equal to some 5, like this. That means whenever you got x, we have to substitute within the x place, that is 3. So that is nothing but substitution. Here, when our alkyl halides undergo substitution reaction with any nucleophile, we will get like this. So this is the in general reaction of substitution. See, before this we have to understand what is nucleophile. We have to understand what is nucleophile. Nucleophile is nothing but electron seeking or electron loving, or sorry, nucleus loving. Nucleophile is nothing but nucleus loving species. Nucleus loving species. Generally we have different types of intermediates like electrophile, nucleophile, free radical, benzene, nitrene, carbene, like this. In this, nucleophile is one of the intermediate. So nucleophile is nothing but nucleus loving species, and also simply we can call it as negative charged species. Negative charged species is called as nucleophile. Negative charge, that means it may be OH minus, hydroxy, or it may be R minus, or it may be OR minus. That means it may be methyl. R minus means we can take ethyl, we can take methyl, we can take ethyl, okay, or chlorine, fluorine, chloride, fluoride, bromide. Next, iodide. These are all negative charged species are called as nucleophiles. Whenever you got the negative charged species, that is called as nucleophile. Okay, that is electron rich species. Nucleophiles can also be defined as electron rich species. We have another type of intermediate, that is electrophile. So electrophiles are always containing the positive charge. That means they are short of electrons. We can define electrophile as electron deficient species. Electron deficient species. So electron deficient species means electrophiles, and nucleons, that means nucleus loving species or electron rich species are called as nucleophiles. So one thing how we have to recognize, identify the nucleophile means which is having negative charge. Which is having negative charge is nucleophile, and which is having positive charge is called as electrophile. So in this particular topic we are going to discuss about the nucleophile. Why? Because here, if you see here, Rx, if I take example CH3Cl, if I take the example CH3Cl, so we have a bond between the carbon and chlorine. We know that chlorine is having more electronegativity than carbon. Obviously, chlorine is having more electronegativity than carbon. What is meant by electronegativity? So electronegativity means the attraction, the capacity of attracting electron towards itself. So okay, electronegativity means the capacity of attracting electron towards itself is called as electronegativity. So I am telling that chlorine is having more electronegativity than carbon means, so the bond is nothing but 2 electron. Bond contains 2 electrons. The equal sharing of electrons is called a covalent bond. So these 2 electrons are more attracted by the chlorine. Why? Because chlorine is having more electronegativity than the carbon. So carbon kante chlorine ki electronegativity ఎక్కువ ఉంది అంటున్నాము అని అంటే ఈ ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ ని క్లోరిన్ తన వైపు అట్రాక్ట్ చేసుకుంటుంది. So that what we get, so that chlorine is getting negative charge, partial negative charge. Here carbon is losing its electron to chlorine. Carbon and electrons ni chlorine ki istundi kabatti carbon is getting partial positive charge. That means here in the in methyl chloride or any halogen compound, the halide is having partial negative charge. Not only chlorine, it may be fluorine, it may be bromine, or it may be X. So halide is having partially negative charge, and the carbon is having partially positive charge. That means halogen is having negative charge and R is having partial positive charge. So substitution means one group should go out, and in the place of that particular group another group will come and sit on that place. That means here this chlorine is going out, and in the place of chlorine another group will come. That means it is called as incoming group and it is outgoing group. Here chlorine is going out Okay, another new group or another new atom will come and attack on the carbon in the chlorine place. Okay, here chlorine is going out, okay, but in which form chlorine is going out means it is in the form of nucleophile. So Cl minus is going out. So Cl minus is leaving the carbon. So Cl minus is leaving the carbon, that is a leaving group. We can call it as leaving group. This leaving group is in the form of nucleophile. Why? Because chlorine minus బయటికి వెళ్తుంది అంటే ఒక న్యూక్లియోఫైల్ బయటికి వెళ్తుంది. సో విచ్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ ఇన్ ద లీవింగ్ గ్రూప్ ఫార్మ్, ద సేమ్ స్పీషీస్ ఆర్ ద సేమ్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విల్ కమ్ అండ్ అటాక్ ఆన్ ద సేమ్ ప్లేస్. సో ఒక న్యూక్లియోఫైల్ బయటికి వెళ్తే ఇంకో న్యూక్లియోఫైల్ వచ్చి అటాక్ అవుతుంది. దట్ మీన్స్ వన్ న్యూక్లియోఫైల్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ అవుట్, అనదర్ న్యూక్లియోఫైల్ విల్ కమ్. సో దట్స్ వై దిస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ రియాక్షన్స్ ఆర్ కాల్డ్ as nucleophilic substitution reactions. We can call it as nucleophilic substitution reactions. So here substitution is taking place. That means in the place of one atom or in the place of one group, another group will come and attack. So that is substitution is taking place. Which type of substitution means the nucleophilic substitution. Why? Because nucleophile is substituted by another nucleophile. One nucleophile is substituted by another nucleophile. That's why this type of reactions are called as nucleophilic substitution reaction. If electrophile is going out, another electrophile is coming in. So those type of reactions are called as electrophilic substitution. But here nucleophile is a substituted group. That's why these type of reactions are called as here nucleophilic substitution reactions. Again, these nucleophilic substitution reactions are two types. Nucleophilic substitution reactions, NSR. NSR means nucleophilic substitution reactions are again divided into two types. That is SN1 and SN2. First one is the SN1 and second one is the SN2. We'll see one by one. So first of all we will discuss about the SN1. Here 1 represents the unimolecular. 1 represents the unimolecular. S means next unimolecular. N means nucleophilic. N means nucleophilic. S means substitution. S means substitution reactions. So SN1 means, if we expand SN1, the SN1 means what ma? Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. SN1 means unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Let's see what is unimolecular. See, I am writing the one equation here. So if I write Rx, okay, this Rx is reacting with one nucleophile. So another new nucleophile. Why? Because one nucleophile is replaced by another nucleophile. So X is going out, OH minus is coming in presence of acetone and water. In presence of acetone and water, what is the new product here means ROH. Why? Because X is going out and in the place of X, OH minus is coming in. So we are getting the new product, that is ROH and X minus. So this is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. Why we are calling this as a unimolecular? Why it is one is here means, see, we have to talk about the rate of a reaction. So in this particular topic we have to learn about rate of a reaction. What is mean by rate? Is nothing but the speed of a reaction in a given time. That means in how many speed it is in the reaction. Why? Because అంటే ఎంత ఫాస్ట్గా రియాక్షన్ జరిగింది అని అర్థం. ఇన్ ద గివెన్ టైమ్, ఇన్ హౌ మెనీ మినిట్స్ ఆర్ హౌ మెనీ అవర్స్ ద రియాక్షన్ ఈస్ టేకింగ్ ప్లేస్ ఈస్ గివెన్ బై ద రేట్. That means how fast the reaction is, whether the reaction is going very fastly or whether the reaction is completed very slowly is given by the rate. If rate is slow, the reaction speed is also slow. If the rate is high, the reaction speed is also high. So rate ante reaction yokka fastness ni teluputundi. Reaction fast ga jarugutunda, slow ga jarugutunda, it is given by rate of a reaction. So here rate of a reaction, this particular reaction rate is directly depends on the concentration of alkyl halide only. The rate of a reaction depends on the concentration of alkyl halide only. In this particular reaction we have two reagents, that is two reactants. One is alkyl halide, another one is a nucleophile. This is called as alkyl halide RX, and OH minus is called as nucleophile. We have two compounds or two reactants, but our rate is depends only on the concentration of alkyl halides but not on the concentration of nucleophile. That means it is here we have to understand that the rate is directly depends upon the concentration. This bracket is called as concentration brackets. Whenever you will see any compound put in the square brackets, we have to understand that it is indication of the concentration of that particular compound. Here RX, that is alkyl halide, put in the square bracket means the meaning of this is the concentration of alkyl halide. So here rate is directly proportional to the concentration of alkyl halides. So here only one molecule is there. Here, even though we have two molecules here, only rate is depends upon only one molecule. That's why it is called as unimolecular reaction. That's why it is called as unimolecular reaction. So now we can define. So what is SN1 means? If the rate of a reaction depends only on the concentration of alkyl halide, that is called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So I am writing here the rate is directly proportional to concentration of alkyl halide only, but not on the concentration of nucleophile, It is called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, next this SN1 reaction proceeds in two steps. What are the two steps? Let's see. The first step is step 1. So this step 1 is also called as rate determining step. What we are calling it as? Rate determining step. So the reaction may proceed in one step or several steps. Not only this type, any organic reaction may proceed in different steps. It may be completed in one step or it may require more than one steps. So among that, one step will be the slow step. So out of 3 or 4 steps, one step will be slow step. Which is slow step? That is called as rate determining step. Okay, if any slow step is in the reaction mechanism, that slow step is generally called as rate determining step. That means where we can determine the rate. That means in that slow step only we can determine the rate of a reaction. So this is first step is called as the rate determining step. We'll see what happened in the rate determining step. Again, another important point is we have primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halides. I hope you all remember the primary, secondary and tertiary which I have discussed in the yesterday class. What is primary? If chlorine is, this is called as primary. If a halogen is present on the primary carbon, it is primary carbon. Our halogen is present on the primary carbon is called as primary alkyl halide. Again, if halogen is present on the secondary carbon, so secondary carbon means this one is the secondary carbon which is connected directly with the two carbons is called as secondary carbon. So when chlorine is present on the secondary carbon, it is called as secondary alkyl halide. Again we have tertiary carbon. So what is meant by tertiary carbon? If carbon is connected with the three carbon, that is called as tertiary alkyl halide. So now we have primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halide. Okay, so in a SN1 reaction, this tertiary alkyl halides will undergo SN1 reaction only. Okay, next the primary alkyl halides will undergo SN2 reaction. Okay, we have SN1 and SN2. The tertiary alkyl halides are generally undergoing SN1 reactions, and next this primary alkyl halides will undergoing in SN2 reaction. And when coming to SN2, we're coming to secondary alkyl halides, the reactivity decreases by SN1. So they are good in SN2 only. They are also not participating in the SN1 reaction. So what we have to remember that tertiary alkyl halide means SN1 reaction. Primary alkyl halides means SN2 reaction. So now we have to take tertiary alkyl halide. For example, I am taking here CH3 and CH3Cl. For example, I am taking here the CH3. So here we can call it as, what we can call it as, 1, 2, 3. So if we are giving the IUPAC nomenclature, we can tell it is 2-chloro, 2-methyl propane, 2-chloro, 2-methyl propane, or simply we can call it as tertiary alkyl halide, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally we have 4 carbons now. So tertiary butyl chloride, the name of the compound is tertiary butyl chloride. We can call it as tertiary butyl chloride. So tertiary butyl chloride is a common name. 2-chloro, 2-methyl propane will be the IUPAC nomenclature. So this in the step 1, what happened, let's see. In the step 1, this chlorine is eliminated as Cl minus. Chlorine is eliminated as Cl minus. Why? Because it is going out as a nucleophile. That's why the chlorine is having more electronegativity than the carbon. The bonded electrons are attracted by the chlorine and it is eliminated as Cl minus. So if both electrons are attracted by the chlorine, that means carbon is losing electron to chlorine. Carbon is donating electron to chlorine. That means if a donation of electron, if any atom donating the electron, it is getting the positive charge. That's why carbon is getting positive charge. Carbon is getting positive charge. Any species, or here carbon is having positive charge, it is called as carbocation. If carbon is containing positive charge, that is called as carbocation. And if you observe this, a carbocation, C plus is called as carbocation. Generally carbocation hybridization is sp2 hybridization. Carbocation is hybridization is sp2 hybridization. In sp2 hybridization, the shape of the species or the shape of the compound is trigonal planar. In sp2 hybridization, the shape is what ma? Trigonal planar. So here this carbocation is called as intermediate. Okay, in step 1 we are getting the intermediate, and which type of intermediate it is? It is stable intermediate. It is stable intermediate. In first semester we have discussed about the inductive effect. In the inductive effect, we already discussed about the stability of carbocations. Generally tertiary carbocations are more stable than the secondary, and secondary carbocations are stable than the primary. Why? Because all the plus I groups are there, or with the help of hyperconjugation also we can explain the stability of tertiary carbocations. These are all studied under the first semester topics. Okay, so here we are getting the stable intermediate, that is carbocation. Generally C plus is nothing but carbocation. Carbocation hybridization is sp2. If any sp2 hybridization is having the shape that is trigonal planar. That means and next this first step is the slow step. This first step is the slow step. It is called as RDS. It is called as RDS. That means rate determining step. Rate determining step. Okay. Now our trigonal planar carbocation. This is the trigonal planar carbocation. That is our intermediate. In second step, what happened in second step means, okay, so the chlorine is eliminated as nucleophile. The chlorine is eliminated as nucleophile. Next, in the second step, what will happen? The new nucleophile will come and attack on the carbon. So one chlorine, that is the old nucleophile, is going out. So in the place of the old nucleophile, the new nucleophile should come and attack on the carbon. But here, if you observe, it is a planar structure. We are telling it is a trigonal planar. Planar means, so if you take the example of this textbook, so it is in the plane. Okay, it is in the plane. So for a planar substances, the front side, this is the above one is the front side, that is the pen one is the front side, and the back side. So for example, the back side is also some space is there, so that is the back side. That means if the new incoming nucleophile can attack from the front side, or it can also attack from the back side. That means the new nucleophile, that is OH minus. In the reaction we have taken the OH minus. The OH minus can come and attack from the back side, front side, or it can also attack from the back side. Understand? So here my hand is there, so it is in plane. So the OH minus can come and attack from the front side, or it can come and attack from the back side. Why? Because the methyl groups are not coming in a way of OH minus. సో ఇక్కడ మిథైల్ గ్రూప్స్ అనేవి అడ్డేమి రావట్లేవు కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ఫ్రంట్ ఉంది, బ్యాక్ ఉంది డైరెక్షన్. సో OH మైనస్ న్యూక్లియోఫైల్ కొత్తగా వచ్చేది ఫ్రంట్ నుంచి అటాక్ చేయొచ్చు, బ్యాక్ నుంచి కూడా అటాక్ చేయొచ్చు. సో ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ స్టెప్ వాట్ వీఆర్ గెటింగ్ హియర్, సో ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ స్టెప్ ద ఇంటర్మీడియట్ కెన్ attacked by the OH minus in both ways from front and back. So what are the products we are getting here? See here, CH3 and CH3. This is the front side attack. Next if OH minus will attack from the back side, we are getting the CH3 and CH3. So this is the OH. So this is the back side attack. That means here we are getting the two products. In SN1 reaction we are getting the two products. We are taking one reactant only, that is our tertiary butyl chloride, but we are getting the two products. We can name it as tertiary butyl alcohol. Why? Because if OH functional group is there, according to IUPAC nomenclature, the name will be the OL, that is alcohol. OH functional group is alcohol. It is tertiary butyl alcohol. It is also tertiary butyl alcohol only, But the difference is if you go to the stereochemistry, so it may be R, it may be S. It is R, it is S. Okay, or it may be plus or it may be minus. That means we are getting the two different types of enantiomers. So what are enantiomers ma? The mirror images, non-superimposable mirror images are called as enantiomers. We have already discussed in the general chemistry topic. So that is a non-superimposable mirror images are called as enantiomers. Here we are getting the two products, that is R and S or plus and minus. R and S and plus and minus, these are called as enantiomers. That means the product of SN1 reaction is called as enantiomers. So this is about the SN1 reaction. So what is SN1 reaction means here, the concentration of the rate of a reaction depends only on the concentration of reactant, that is alkyl halide, but not on the concentration of nucleophile. Only depends on the concentration of alkyl halide, but not on the nucleophilic concentration, that is called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. So this SN1 reaction proceeds through two steps, that is the step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is also called as rate determining step. And next the slow step, which is slow step in the mechanism, that is called as RDS, rate determining step. The intermediate of the compound is the carbocation. And this SN1 reaction proceeds through polar solvent. We are taking here water. So water is always polar solvent. Polar is nothing but which produces charges. The water can exist as H plus and OH minus. So which are producing charges or poles are called as polar solvent. So H2O can present as H plus and OH minus. So SN1 reaction proceeds through polar solvent. This is about SN1 reaction. Next we'll see the mechanism of SN1 reaction. Mechanism of SN1 reaction. So before mechanism we can see the energy profile diagram of SN1 reaction. We'll see energy profile is nothing but we are taking alkyl halide and the next nucleophile. So here we are having alkyl halides. When this alkyl halides reacting with the OH minus, so first of all we are getting here, this is excited state, that is RX plus OH minus reacting each other. Next here our intermediate, we are getting the intermediate, that is intermediate is R plus. R plus is nothing but here carbocation, it is the intermediate. So after the intermediate, what happened here, we are getting the products. After the intermediate we are getting the products. What is the product here? ROH. So here the energy of carbocation, this is the energy level. So this is the energy level. The energy of carbocation is less. So which is having less energy is nothing but stable. That is stable. That's why we are getting here stable intermediates. So after that addition of OH minus will takes place and we are getting the alcohol. This is the energy profile diagram. Next we are talking about the mechanism. Of SN1 reaction. We'll see the mechanism. So first of all, for the mechanism we have to take optically active compound. We have to take optically active compound. What is meant by optically active compound? So if before knowing the optically active compound, we have to know about the chiral carbon. What is chiral carbon, ma? In already first semester also we have discussed about this. So chiral carbon is nothing but if carbon contains 4 different groups around it is called as chiral carbon. So in the case of tertiary butyl chloride, if you observe this here, the carbon is containing here 3 same here. 3 methyls are same. So we cannot consider this as a chiral carbon. So if a compound should be chiral, means it contains 4 different groups, that is carbon, H, CH3, C2H5 or Cl, like this. That means if this the middle carbon, it is a middle carbon, it contains 4 different groups. One is hydrogen, another one is methyl, another one is ethyl, another is a chlorine. That means this middle carbon is having the 4 different groups surrounded by it. So this carbon can call it as a chiral carbon. This carbon can call it as chiral carbon. So this is the chiral carbon. If any compound contains chiral carbon, that is optically active. So in some text we can tell that some extent, not 100%, in some extent we can tell that if any compound contains optically that is a chiral carbon, it is called as optically active compound. So to understand the mechanism, or to understand the stereochemistry, not exactly mechanism, to understand the stereochemistry of SN1 reaction, we have to take any optically active alkyl halide. For example is this one. So this is the example for perfectly optically active compound. Okay, we are taking this here. So I am writing like this. See here, this is CH3. Next, the stereochemistry is indicated by the dash and wedges. This is a wedge representation. This is C2H5, and next we have hydrogen. Next here chlorine. So this is the stereochemistry representation, that is wedge representation. In step 1, what happened? In step 1, chlorine is going out. So we are getting here trigonal planar intermediate, trigonal planar carbocation, that is intermediate. Now we have 2 options. That means OH minus can come from the front side or can attack from the back side. Okay, can attack from the back side or can it come from the front side. So now we are getting 2 products, CH3, H, OH plus CH3OH, H. So these are the 2 products. It is called as 50% R and 50% S. RS enantiomers. R and S enantiomers. It is called as racemic mixture. Racemic mixture, that means the SN1 reaction product is the racemic mixture. What is meant by racemic mixture? Means if any mixture contains 50% R configuration and 50% S configuration enantiomers is called as racemic mixture. So here we are getting the racemic mixture, that is 50% R and 50% S. So this is about the SN1 reaction. Okay, we'll see the SN2 reaction. We'll see the SN2 reaction. So the name itself indicating 2 means 1 means unimolecular nucleophilic substitution, 2 means bimolecular. So bimolecular nucleophilic, N means nucleophilic, S means substitution. So here we can call it as bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions is called as SN2 reaction. So in this the bi indicating that something is about 2 molecules. So we are talking about something 2 molecule. For example, we are taking here Rx plus OH minus. It is, we have to heat the reaction and we are getting the alcohol. The reaction is same but the mechanism is different. Okay, in both the SN1 and SN2 the product is same, that is the alcohol. The reactant is alkyl halide only and the product is alcohol, but the difference is in the rate. There the rate is depends only on the concentration of alkyl halide, but here the rate of the reaction depends both on the concentration of alkyl halide as well as concentration of nucleophile. So we are putting the compounds in the square bracket means it is concentration, it is indicating the concentration. Here the rate is directly proportional on the we can define as the rate is depends upon the concentration of reactant, that is the alkyl halide, and the concentration of nucleophile also. That means here in the rate equation two molecules are involving in the rate equation. That's why we are calling it as bimolecular. So the two indicating that the bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So this is about the SN2. And generally SN1 is undergoing in two reactions, but SN2 undergoing only one reaction. That means this reaction completes only one step. In the SN1 what happened, there are two steps. That is the slow step. First one is the slow step and second one is the fast step. But SN2 reaction completes only in one step. So what happened here, we'll see. And again tertiary alkyl halides are undergoing SN1, but primary alkyl halides are undergoing SN2. Primary alkyl halide means I am taking here CH3, H and Cl. So HH is nothing but it is CH3, CH2, Cl only. But sometimes in textbook he may be given like that. So hydrogens only. There is nothing carbon. No carbon is there. It is CH2. CH2 is nothing but CH2. It is primary carbon only. So this primary carbon is undergoing reaction in presence of some temperature. So what happened? So we are getting here CH3, H and H. Let's see the mechanism. So first of all, what happened? The leaving group. That means here chlorine is the leaving group and OH is the incoming group. So chlorine is going out and OH is coming in. Let's see, I am writing like this. So chlorine is leaving group, that is it is going out and it is still intact with the carbon. That means chlorine is not completely cleaved from the carbon. It is slowly cleaving. At the same time, when chlorine is slowly removing from the carbon, at the same time only OH minus is also coming towards the carbon. That means the two steps are taking place simultaneously. What are the two steps? Chlorine is going out and the new incoming nucleophile is coming in. That means both the steps are taking place simultaneously. And chlorine బయటికి వెళ్ళడము OH minus రావడము రెండు ఒకేసారి జరుగుతున్నాయి. So this is called as transition state. That means unlike SN1, in SN1 we are having the stable intermediate, that is carbocation, but in SN2 there is no stable intermediate. We have only transition state which is very unstable. Why? Because if you observe around the carbon almost we have 5 bonds, but carbon cannot form 5 bonds. That's why it is very unstable. So after some time what happened? The chlorine is completely leaving from the carbon and there is a new bond formation between the carbon and oxygen. So now we are getting here, so CH3, H and OH. So here only 100% one product is possible. 100% only one product is possible. We cannot obtain two products like SN1. Why? Because chlorine is going out and OH is coming in. So both the processes are taking place simultaneously. So when chlorine completely cleaving from the carbon, then the new bond formed between the carbon and OH. If you observe here, I am writing again. So the chlorine is present at the right side of the carbon. In the reactant, chlorine is present at the right side, but if you observe the OH, the incoming nucleophile present at the left side of the carbon. That is the exactly opposite side of the chlorine. OH will come and attack on the carbon. That means inversion of configuration takes place. Inversion means reverse. So if when in a rainy season, if you carry an umbrella, if there is sudden wind, what happened? The umbrella, generally umbrella will be like this, no? If a sudden wind comes, what happened? The umbrella shape will change like this. So it is called as inversion. So it can be called as Walden inversion. And the name of a scientist, this inversion is called as Walden inversion. Walden inversion is taking place. Why I am telling it is an inversion means, so chlorine is actually chlorine is the right side. It is chlorine, for example, After OH arrival, what happened? The OH comes from the exactly opposite side of the chlorine. That's why the reinversion is taking place. For example, the reactant is R, the product will be S. Completely opposite product will be obtained. If the product is plus, the reactant is plus, the product is a minus. Okay, so it is called as Walden inversion. It is about SN2 reaction. So in SN2 reaction, primary alkyl halides are undergoing, and next in SN2 reaction there is only one step, and in SN2 reaction there is no particular stable intermediate, we have only transition state that is very unstable. And next the product is the Walden inversion product is the Walden inversion product. Okay, Walden inversion product. This is about SN2 reaction. If you take the energy profile diagram, in a SN1 we are getting the intermediate very stable, but here the intermediate, that is transition, is very unstable. Unstable means energy is very high, so here we are getting the transition state. So after that we are getting only one product, This is about energy profile diagram. And stereochemistry. What about stereochemistry? We have already discussed here. So in stereochemistry, if you are taking R product, we are getting the exactly opposite of R is S. If you are taking the plus product, we are getting the minus. So this is the stereochemistry of SN2 reaction. So with this, I hope you all clearly understand what is substitution reactions, nucleophilic substitution, and next SN1 and SN2. In next topic, we will discuss about the further chemical reactions of a halogen compounds. Thank you.